Florida State versus Cal, who comes out with the victory.
You are Locked On Seminoles, your daily podcast on the Florida State Seminoles. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back into Locked On Seminoles. I am your host, Brian Smith. Thank you for making this your first listen each and every day. Truly appreciate you stopping in to talk some Noles football with me. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket. It comes from YouTube and YouTube TV. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. All right, it is Prediction Friday. It is a overview of some of the things I talked about this week, and I want to add on to something. I had a show on Wednesday discussing ad nauseum quarterback play for Florida State and what the expectation is. Let's be clear. Florida State's coaches, their job is to win football games, just to state the obvious. And generically speaking, most coaches are as stubborn as an iron pole. They don't want to do anything different. They want linear. And when a season comes off the rails like it has so far in 2024, they will try to go against change. It's just the nature of coaches that I've met throughout my entire life. But I stated very clearly, no matter what, Luke and or Brock must play. And I know it will be a difficult choice for the coaches, but they had to prepare for it all week too. If DJU gets all the snaps, I don't care if Florida State wins or not. I'm very clear on this because this season is not a Florida State season. It's 0-3. I mean, they're not a very good football team. If those two do not play, regardless of the score of the game at the end of the contest on Saturday, it is not a success. This program is about trying to compete for titles, not going to minor bowl games. This team could make it to 6-6. It's possible. Making it to a minor bowl does not matter. I'm sorry, it just does not. Don't ask me either. You can ask numerous other people that are fans, that are in the media, Bud Elliott, whoever you want. It's the same story, person to person. They just word it slightly differently. Bud probably put it the best. He's like, he put up a post a few days ago on X, speaking with a few of his friends. They don't care about going to the game unless they know flat out that Brock and or Luke is going to play. That's the only thing they care about. Who's the next quarterback? So with that, I just want to make a few statements here. I expect DJ to start, but if by the end of the first half, unless he's just on fire, which anything's possible, there's no reason that Brock shouldn't get in the game at least. I assume it would be him. I can't say for sure, but if Brock Glenn is not in the game by the end of the first half, DJ better be absolutely on fire. I'm talking about like 12 out of 15. That's not going to happen. We all know it's not going to happen. He's not that accurate. Florida State better be dominating. Anything's possible. Their defense certainly played better last week, but the way the offensive line is, the tight ends, etc., I don't see that. So be prepared for boos if you do go to the game, or if you're watching on TV, you'll probably hear them on the broadcast. People are done with the whole DJU thing. I just want to reiterate that, and it's unfortunate, but again, for me, this game is about looking forward to next season already, which I've never covered a team in this situation. I've never even thought about it in this situation. So to that, I will say this. I think this is going to be a close game no matter how Florida State plays at quarterback, because quarterback play has been terrible, period, this season, and they've been competitive. I don't think it's going to get a whole lot worse. So you can scheme it up with play calling that fits what a young quarterback is capable of. But DJU as a fifth-year player has regressed so much, he might as well be a freshman. So you might as well go that route. That's how I look at it. Take it for what it's worth. As for Cal, there are two main points here. Number one, their quarterback situation, is the polar opposite of Florida State. I mean, it's a complete reversal, 180, however you want to say it. Fernando Mendoza is a very consistent passer, doesn't hit a lot of big plays. They're check down Charlie offense because their offensive line can't pass protect to save its life. It's the same deal as Florida State. They're a mirror image of one another in that regard. Their offensive line stinks. At pass protection, he's always under duress. So they many rollouts, hit a guy in the flat. They do a gazillion rub routes to get their tight ends involved. They do a great job with their scheme. Can Florida State play man? This is their typical defense. Boy, you got to communicate, really, really well to do that against Cal's offense. And what I saw last week against Memphis, the answer to that is a resounding no. I like screaming no with expletives, no. I'm very concerned about that because Cal is one of the most efficient third down offenses in the nation when it comes to short passes. Mendoza's as accurate a quarterback as there is in the country. Literally, he might be the most accurate. 10 yards and in, like just 10 yards from the line of scrimmage. I've seen him play live. I've seen him play live high school and college. Very consistent motion with the way he throws, no matter if he's on time, he's being rushed, he's being hit, he's moving short pass long, but it doesn't matter. He's just incredibly accurate. So if you have any communication problems at the second and third level, meaning linebacker safeties, linebacker corners, whatever, you're going to be in trouble. And last week, Memphis killed Florida State with that on about 5 or 6 plays. They determined the game. They didn't score a bunch. They had a bunch of problems in the second half, too. Communication in the back end was bad. That's something you can fix to a certain degree, but here's the other problem. Cal runs a ton of motions and shifts. It's about as close to a true West Coast offense you're going to see in college football right now in terms of the overall concept. I don't know what they call it. And they run some shotgun and all that. They do all kinds of different things. I mean, primarily shotgun, but it's still a West Coast based. First and 10 plays in particular to start a drive, the chances they're not being in motion are about the chances of me dunking a basketball, and I'm 5'10" and 51 years old. Ain't happening. So you need to be ready on every single snap to adjust and communicate. We'll see how good Florida State's defensive staff is, because this game is not one you like as a defensive staff. It's horrible because it's the closest thing you're going to have to facing like an option team because of all their shifts and motions. Option teams are a whole nother level. Everybody hates facing them, but this is as close as you're going to get. And you've got a lot of young guys rotating in the back seven, at linebacker, at safety, etc. Cryer, different guys. It doesn't matter which one. Hussey, one step off, even if they know their assignment, if their footwork is not exactly right, that tight end or that receiver gets an inside position. The one thing I would say about it, they're not explosive. They catch everything, even through contact. I give them a lot of credit. Their tight ends, receivers, they are excellent through contact to bring the football in. Their receiver coach, etc., has done a tremendous job. So Florida State's DBs have more talent. I have no doubt about that. The coaching staff for Cal's done a great job to put them in position to do the best they can. They only average about 7 yards an attempt. It's pretty low. That's not very good. But they're so efficient, it's weird offensively how you get things done. But 3rd and 4, they'll kill you. They might be the best offense in the country at short yardage passing on third downs. I know 8 for 9, if I remember right, on passes on third down that were less than 5 yards that converted against Auburn. And Auburn's got some really good DBs. It was insane. So Florida State has to figure that out. And if they don't, this game will be kind of like a grinded out 17-14, 24-20, one way or the other kind of game. But if Florida State can just get just one play, and they're due, where they jump a route or get a deflection, like Patrick Payton's the best in the country at deflecting passes out on the edge, and they'll throw screens, quite a few of them, and short slants. They're going to be more challenged than they have in some of their games today. Like they played San Diego State last week. They are terrible on defense. Just one of the worst schools in the country. I believe they're 114th in rushing. Javion Thomas, who I'll talk about in a few minutes, is their backup running back who's taken over. Jaden Ott didn't even play in the last game, but Javion went for 17 carries, 169 yards. I mean, he averaged almost 10 yards a tote. He's tremendous. He's got some speed. If they can keep him pinned down to a certain degree, hold him to 5 yards or less to carry, no long runs, make those short passes over and over again happen, it's time for Florida State to get a pick six or change the game with the defensive play that gives them a short field, like 10 yards to the goal line, something like that. Florida State's been close on a whole bunch like that. It's time to get one of those. The defense, I know it's not on them to win the game solely, but they got the talent to do it. They have the talent to hold Cal to 10, 13 points. Again, it's time to do it, but I need to see it. I don't know if it's a chemistry issue. I don't know if it is truly just a communication issue, but Florida State seems to come up day late, dollar short in too many situations on defense, and it's not talent. So it's mystifying what it is with them. So we'll see. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about Cal's offense. They're going to rotate into Florida State's offense, some things that I need to see, and we all need to see with the run game and the offensive line. That's next at Locked On Seminoles. Passion, drive, and patience, the formula for winning championships, is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay's Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home that huge win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay's Guaranteed Fit available only to you as customers. Let's talk a little bit about Florida State's offense beyond DJ for just a second. I've said this many times on the show, and I'll do it again this Saturday with how I track stats. Florida State's first down runs have been anything other than successful so far this year. Matter of fact, they've been a disaster. Any offense is predicated on big chunk plays in the passing game to a certain degree, but to get there, you need to have some balance. And Florida State under Norvell until this year has shown that. This year, it's been beyond believable, like what's going on. I can't even put it into perspective what's going on. Matter of fact, let's look up Florida State's number on first down runs just for the fun of it. Well, I don't know if fun is the best word, but if you look at their situational stats on first downs right now, Florida State, no lie, this is the official number: 32 carries for 55 yards, 1.72 yards per carry this year on first downs. I don't know what the number is in terms of whether Florida State is dead last in the FBS on that, but it's got to be right there. 1.72 yards per carry. You can say whatever you want. That's not going to get it done. Part of that is obviously the offensive line's not doing its job. Running backs could do better, certainly. But I think more than anything else, DJU's got to get in and out of the better play call. That's something you can't tell exactly, and it's unfortunate. There's no way to give a finite answer on that, but we don't know the play call going in, and it could be something like outside zone right, and the way they're lined up, he needs to switch it to a different play. Something goes to the left, whatever, and it's not getting done. There's a home run on almost every defensive front if you know the personnel in front of you. Well, they're not only they're not hitting it over the fence, they're not getting it past the pitcher's mound. 1.72 yards per carry is as pedestrian as it gets. I mean, it's not even pedestrian. It's not even crawling. So too many guys getting hit in the backfield. There are mental errors up front. There's no chemistry, all of that. And again, I wonder how much DJ is in tune with his players, because a fifth-year senior, you would think, would see a few more opportunities because the guys behind him, they got a ton of talent at running back. That is not in question. First down runs are going to be something that I watch closely. To put it in perspective of how bad it's been, just from my view, it's the first thing I put on my paper before I study game. Literally, the first thing, first down runs. How well are you doing? Are there any chunk yardage plays, etc.? I haven't finished a game with my notes where I even finished that section. Why? Because it's so bad, there's no reason. I can sum it up in about 5 words. This rushing offense absolutely sucks. Those are the 5 words. that I will use or something close. There's no reason. There have been times during a game where Florida State's at like a yard a carry on first downs. That just can't happen. I don't care if you got John Elway circa 1995. I don't care. You can't run the ball for 1 yard a carry, 2 yards a carry, 3 yards a carry. It does not work, especially when you're trying to run a drop back, play action offense. DJ's obviously not running, being the reason. He's got a big arm. He can throw it down the field every now and then. The play to Benson last week, that's a sign they can do it. Imagine how many more of those they would have if they averaged even 3.5 yards a carry. They doubled at 1.72. If you're getting 4 yards on first down, give or take, your offense completely changes. I don't know if having Alex back on the sideline, how that's worked. I believe he's back this week. Maybe that helps to a certain degree, but he's not the one blocking. So I need to see something there. I really do. And I also need to see Florida State come up with something that not only helps them do well average-wise, they need a pulse offensively. They need some juice. They need to hit a big one. Ward only knows they have the guys in the backfield that can score from distance, Tofili in particular. He's speedy, he's shifty, and he's experienced. He'll make the right decision if he's given the opportunity. But right now, do we really think that that's going to happen? I have no idea. Alex being back is the wild card, but I don't know what to really think. I mean, the 1.7 is mind-boggling. So your passing game struggles anyway. DJ misses guys open. He misses throws. The receivers aren't getting a ton of separation. But if they could just get a couple of runs, it could change the game completely. You can go from scoring like 20 points a game, scoring 30, just like that. First down runs are that important. So keep that in mind. Also, on the point of separation, it doesn't have to be on every play. But at what point are we going to see, whether it's Benson, whether it's Brown, it doesn't matter which guy, somebody consistently through an entire game get open and the other team just doesn't have an answer? Separation. DJ's comfortable, and it's obvious, body language will tell you, he is comfortable with Kentron, whether it's Hakeem. Sometimes you just get in a groove with a guy. Maybe your third option going into a game, like he's probably the third guy I'm going to throw to. But for whatever reason, the coverage favors the play, and you just get in a groove. Florida State hasn't had that once through 3 games. Kentron had those back-to-back catches against BC, but, I mean, he didn't do anything really this last game to make you think that was going to continue, and he didn't finish off the game that way against BC. So DJ doesn't have a go-to guy. And whether it's Luke in the game, whether it's Brock in the game, that would still apply. Even if they only get a series or 2 out of the young guys, do they develop something? It could be the tight end, like tight ends orderly knows. Florida State needs Morlock to step up. Didn't play well against BC, played better against Memphis, but he's been disappointing. I feel bad about it because you want the guy to do well. And Norvell had talked about how, Morlock was really down on himself. It happens, you have bad days. We're all human. But at the same time, they need him to step up and to be a viable option and for it to work out. If they don't get better passing game, that's going to be a difficult situation. Because quite honestly, they got to hit some chunk yardage plays, even if they do run the ball better on first down and have some more manageable, stay ahead of the chains kind of situations. They've missed on it even when they get us, 5-6 yards on first down. They'll screw up and have a penalty, a drop pass. Those, by the way, those can't happen anymore. This drop pass stuff is ridiculous. You're getting a scholarship to Florida State, catch football, okay, to catch the football. But they also need to make DJ feel comfortable. Somebody's got to be the go-to guy. There isn't one yet, and we're going into game 4. Who is it? That needs to be established in this game. When we come back, I'm going to give my final score prediction and also talk about one other thing with the offense that, quite honestly, is going to be interesting to see because Cal's defense is pretty good. That's next on Locked On Seminoles. You've heard us talk about FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Well, we have something a little different for you. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. With the YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel your plan at any time. Just visit FanDuel.com and download America's #1 sportsbook. All right, we're to the nitty-gritty here before the prediction. There are two things besides the prediction. Number one, I do want to mention Cal's defense is legit. 12.3 points per game, 28th in the nation. So they're a good defense. They just are sound all around, don't give up a lot of chunk plays. We'll see how that works. They got a nose guard that's pretty talented. That'll be an interesting matchup with Mo. That's my first point. If they don't handle that well, my statements in regards to whether or not Florida State runs the ball on first down or any other for any consistent yardage, chunk plays, or otherwise goes down the drain. They have to control the middle. The mic and the nose are the keys to Cal's defense. No question. If you're struggling with them, it will be a horrible day. It is A to B. They're good football players. They cause havoc. You must find a way to block them with one guy each. Here's the key. If you must double the nose, Florida State's in trouble. Watch that on every single rep, especially if you're on TV and you got the right angle. Depending on how they do it, watch the nose guard for Cal. He's good. And they rotate guys in, but the interior D-line for Cal is pretty good. I'm not sure how that's going to go. But down the other side, same deal. I've mentioned earlier in the show, Cal's offensive line doesn't give me warm and fuzzies either. Like, I don't know if they're as bad as Florida State's, but they might be even worse. I've seen them live. If Mendoza played behind a really good offensive line, it'd be insane what his numbers are. They have to change their offense because they can't pass block. They can't do it. Absolutely, unequivocally cannot pass block. So Florida State's got a pass rush. They proved it again last week. They came on a little bit, got better and better as the game went on, pretty much dominated the last quarter and a half against an offense for Memphis that I was shocked. I thought they would score 30 for sure. They only got 20. So hats off to Florida State. Can Florida State get consistent penetration on first down to place Mendoza in 2nd and 8, 2nd and 7? Because again, Javion, that running back can go. He's the guy now. I don't know if Jay Knott's out for a long time, whatever. I don't pay attention to coaches with their injury reports during the season. As I say about Norvell and every other coach, they do 3 things about injuries during press conferences. They lie, and they lie. They're never going to tell you the truth until, nobody's going to convince me otherwise. So I don't even pay attention to Cal's press conference. I have no interest. So the interesting thing for this, though, if you can get them in some of those 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8s, because you do handle the nose guard and all that on one side, you can maybe get a big play, get the team going. And then defensively, you can force them into more passing situations on first down. Mendoza's good, but that doesn't mean in more obvious passing situation, you can't get a deflection or jump one route and change the game. Florida State needs some excitement. They really do. I don't know if that's going to happen, but at the same time, I think it'll be a situation where you're going to need that to win. But I'm also a prove it guy. What I mean by that is saying it theoretically, I can totally see this happening where Florida State wins the game because of a defensive play that either A, sets up the offense on a short field, or B, just take it to the house. Strip sack fumble, a deflection by Patrick Payton, Justin Cryer picks it off and scores. Something like that. Very feasible. But Florida State has found a way to go 0-3 because they definitively shoot themselves in the foot over and over on offense and defense. Special teams, obviously, the kickers. If it comes down to the kicking game, I'll take Florida State against any team in the country. Master Mono, if it's best combination in the country, hands down. Kickers don't win games. Linemen do. Kickers don't win games. Quarterbacks do, etc., barring some very unusual circumstances. So with that, my final score prediction is Cal 24, Florida State 21. I think that the season is going to just go further into the abyss, and I just think that Florida State is going to shoot itself in the foot one too many times. I think this will be an ugly game. because I think both defensive lines will win the battle against the offensive line. I also think Mendoza, while he only threw for $198 against San Diego State, if he's forced to throw, he's more likely to make a clutch pass than DJ. I'm not exactly going out on a limb there. DJ's not very good, and I think he'll take about 90% of the reps, and most of the people that watch the show, as well as those that will be in Doak Campbell Stadium, will be angry, not mad, angry at Mike Norvell at the end of this game. And I'm going to do a live show later on Saturday evening to allow people to, quote unquote, get their opinions out. I'll probably watch some football, watch the entire day, do a show later in the evening, and give a discussion point on it. But I just don't think that Florida State will win because I just don't think they know how to yet. This is a very unusual team. We'll see if I'm right or wrong, but that's my opinion. Everybody, please come back and let's talk some Noles football on Saturday evening. We'll do a live show. Might do a little preview show tomorrow morning as well of some kind. Might just do an overall college football show. I haven't decided yet, but everybody have a good one, and I will see you again on Saturday.